The story of two African sisters.
In a small, vibrant village in the heart of Africa lived two sisters, Adana and Zola. Adana the elder was known for her wisdom and kindness. Zola the younger was adventurous and filled with boundless curiosity. Despite their differences, they shared a bond as strong as the baobab tree that stood tall in their village. The sisters loved spending time by the river, where they often shared stories and dreams. One day, while exploring the forest, Zola found a shimmering stone near a stream. It sparkled in the sunlight, and its beauty captivated her. She showed it to Adana, who recognized it as a sacred stone from the ancient stories their grandmother used to tell. The stone, according to legend, held the power to grant one wish to those with pure hearts. But it also came with a warning. The wish must be selfless, or the stone's power would bring unintended consequences. Adana and Zola debated what to do with the stone. Zola wanted to wish for adventure and explore lands beyond their village, while Adana thought of the villagers and their struggles during the dry season. That night, under the full moon, they decided to take the stone to the village elder, Mama Kwame, who was wise and deeply respected. Mama Kwame listened to their story and smiled. The true power of this stone lies not in what it can grant, but in the unity it inspires, she said. She suggested that they hold a village gathering to decide the wish together. When the villagers came together, they all shared their thoughts. Some wanted rain for their crops, others wanted protection for their livestock, and a few wished for better education for the children. In the end, Adana and Zola stepped forward. We wish for our village to always have enough water, food, and love to thrive together, Adana declared. The stone glowed brightly, and a soft rain began to fall. The once dry riverbeds filled with water. The crops began to grow lush and green, and the village felt a renewed sense of hope and unity. From that day on, Adana and Zola became symbols of wisdom and selflessness. The sisters continued to explore, learn, and share their experiences, always reminding the village of the power of unity and kindness. The shimmering stone disappeared, but its legacy lived on in the hearts of the villagers who had learned to work together for a brighter future.
The journey beyond the village.
Months after the sacred stone blessed the village, life flourished in ways the villagers had never imagined. The crops were abundant, the animals healthy, and the river flowed steadily. Yet Adana and Zola felt the call of the wider world. The stone had reminded them of the power of unity, but also sparked a question: what lay beyond their familiar horizon? One evening, Adana approached Zola as they sat by the river. The stone's gift has blessed our village, but I believe our work isn't done. What if other villages are struggling as we once did? Shouldn't we share what we've learned? Zola's eyes lit up. She had always dreamed of adventure, and this seemed like the perfect reason to explore. Yes, sister, let's carry the message of unity and wisdom to others. Maybe we'll find more stories, lessons, and people to help. With the village's blessing, the sisters began their journey. The villagers packed food, water, and gifts for trade. Mama Kwame handed them a beautifully woven map, marking paths that other travelers had taken long ago. "Follow the stars if you're ever lost," she advised. "And remember, the greatest power you carry is in your hearts." Meeting the distant villages. Their journey took them through dense forests, across golden savannas, and to bustling markets in distant towns. In each place, they shared the story of the sacred stone and how it had united their village. Some people welcomed them warmly, eager to learn, while others were skeptical, wondering what two young women could teach. In one village, they found a community struggling with a water shortage. The river that once sustained them had dried up, and conflict had broken out over the remaining water wells. Adana and Zola gathered the elders and children together, telling the story of their village and how they had overcome their struggles by working together. Inspired, the villagers decided to pool their resources and dig a new well near a hidden underground spring that Zola had discovered during her explorations. When the water gushed forth, the villagers rejoiced and thanked the sisters for reminding them of the strength in unity. The trial of the mountain tribe. Their greatest challenge came when they reached the mountain tribe, a secluded community that had grown distrustful of outsiders. The tribe had an ancient feud between two families, and their division had left their crops failing and their children hungry. Adana and Zola knew they couldn't solve this problem by simply telling a story. They spent weeks earning the trust of the tribe, working alongside them in the fields and helping care for the children. Slowly, the sisters brought members of the feuding families together through small gestures, a shared meal, a song, or a game. One day, during a village gathering, Zola stood and spoke. "You are all one tribe, sharing the same land, the same sky, and the same dreams for your children. If the earth can hold us all together, why can't we hold each other?" Adana added, "Unity doesn't erase differences, it strengthens them. Together you can build a future where no one is left behind." The tribe decided to unite for a common purpose, restoring the fields. Over time, their crops began to grow again, and the once divided families celebrated together as one. Return to the village. After years of travel, the sisters finally returned to their own village. They found it even more vibrant than before, thanks to the wisdom they had left behind. Mama Kwame, now older but still wise, greeted them warmly. "You've carried the spirit of the stone far beyond what I imagined," she said. Adana and Zola shared stories of their journey, and the village listened in awe. They realized the sisters had not only brought hope to others, but had also brought back lessons and traditions that could enrich their own lives. The sisters built a school where children could learn about the world beyond their village and the importance of unity. They also started a tradition of storytelling by the river, where villagers could share their dreams and challenges, ensuring the spirit of the stone lived on for generations. And so, Adana and Zola became legends, not just in their village, but across the land, reminding everyone that the greatest treasures are found in compassion, unity, and the courage to make the world a better place.
The legacy of the sisters.
As years passed, Adana and Zola grew older, their wisdom deepening with every story they heard and every life they touched. Their school by the river became a hub of learning and inspiration. Children from distant villages traveled to learn about the world, about unity, and about the power of compassion. One day, a young boy named Kofi arrived in the village. He had walked for days, drawn by tales of the two sisters who could bring peace and prosperity wherever they went. Kofi's village, far to the west, had been devastated by a powerful storm, leaving his people scattered and hopeless. Adana and Zola listened intently to Kofi's story. Despite their age, their spirits burned with the same determination they had as young women. "We will come with you," Adana said. "A journey like this is never too late, especially if it means helping others." The villagers, now prosperous and self-reliant, insisted on supporting their journey. They packed food, medicines, and tools for rebuilding. A group of young villagers, inspired by the sisters, volunteered to accompany them, ensuring the wisdom of Adana and Zola would be carried forward. Rebuilding Kofi's village. When they reached Kofi's village, they found it in ruins. Houses were flattened, fields washed away, and the people were scattered in makeshift shelters. But the spirit of the village wasn't broken. The people were eager to rebuild. They just needed guidance. Adana and Zola began by gathering the villagers under the largest remaining tree. They shared the stories of their village and others they had helped, igniting hope in the hearts of Kofi's people. Then they encouraged the villagers to share their own ideas for rebuilding, fostering a sense of ownership and collaboration. Under Adana's guidance, they designed a new layout for the village, one that would better withstand future storms. Zola, ever the explorer, helped the villagers identify new sources of water and fertile land. The young volunteers from Adana and Zola's village worked tirelessly alongside the villagers, planting crops, repairing homes, and teaching new skills. Slowly but surely, the village came back to life. The fields turned green again, children played in the rebuilt streets, and the people once scattered came together as a strong and united community. The final journey. After the work was done, Adana and Zola knew their journey was nearing its end. They had shared their wisdom, and the next generation was ready to carry their mission forward. As they prepared to leave, Kofi's village held a grand celebration, honoring the sisters for their kindness and strength. On the way back home, Adana and Zola stopped by their favorite spot, the river where their story had begun. The water sparkled under the setting sun, and the baobab tree stood tall and unwavering. They sat in its shade, reminiscing about their adventures and the lives they had touched. Adana looked at Zola, her eyes filled with warmth. "Do you see now, sister? The stone's true power wasn't in granting a wish. It was in showing us what we could achieve together." Zola smiled, and it wasn't just for us. It was for everyone, everywhere. The world is one big village, Adana. I see that now. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the sisters closed their eyes, content in the knowledge that their legacy would live on in every story told, every life rebuilt, and every hand extended in kindness. The legend continues. Years later, the story of Adana and Zola was told across the land. Their names became synonymous with hope, unity, and courage. Villages far and wide established annual festivals to honor their teachings, where people shared stories of how they had worked together to overcome challenges. Adana and Zola's school by the river grew into a great center of learning, attracting scholars and leaders from across the continent. And at its heart stood a simple plaque, engraved with the sisters' favorite words: "The greatest treasures are not found in gold or jewels, but in the bonds we share and the kindness we show. Together, we are unstoppable." Though Adana and Zola were no longer there in body, their spirit lived on, flowing like the river that connected all the villages they had touched.